The Skin Institute and Day Spa. We're innovative concept salon and spa. We offer hair, nails, waxing services, facial, massage, Ayurvedic treatments, and hydrotherapy. We have prices that range from anywhere for $15 for a 15-minute mini stress buster massage, like a little stress relief treatment, all the way up to a full day of beauty, which can be about $350. We've been in the Third Ward 5 years. We probably see, I know we see about 1,000 people a week. Third Ward is a great location. We're just beyond downtown. We can get people who work downtown, but maybe they live in the suburbs. It's a convenient location for them to come to because they're already downtown for work. It's a great area. It's booming. It's a neat area. There's a lot of art galleries around, different types of clothing shops, jewelry shops. It's kind of a neat, funky little area that people want to come down and explore.
Somebody from out of town who wasn't familiar with it, how would you describe it?
I would say that it's a neighborhood of old manufacturing buildings primarily that has been converted to condos and residence and offices of professionals. It's a clean area located near Milwaukee's lakefront. It looks like it's the next in place to be. There are more and more people coming down here. There's been a lot of investment down here. A lot of galleries. That's a change from the past. And there's a lot of activity down here. It's just south of the major downtown area. Actually, the restaurant was opened by my uncle, my father, in 1946, right after the war. And at that time, this was a light manufacturing industrial area. And it was a daytime activity. There was no activity at night or on the weekends. So they served primarily breakfast and lunch. And I joined them in 1960. We had a couple of restaurants, of which this one in the Third Ward was one. And about 10 years ago, things started happening, maybe about 15 years ago, where the industry moved out. Then it started changing, and some investors came down here and started investing money in the buildings, and it gradually changed over to what it is now and looks to be in the future, which is mostly residential and office, and although it's a mixed use right now. So there's now more activity on nights and weekends. There's a few more restaurants opening up in the neighborhood. The type of person who's down here now is different in terms of his work than was before. There's more office now. And right now things look like they're on the upscale and people are really wanting to be down here, and it's an active neighborhood. It's changing for me. Like I say, I've been down here a long time, and it's, we're a breakfast and lunch crowd where we deal basically with the, working fella, truck drivers, things of that nature. So it is becoming more trendy. Whether the Broadway Bar and Grill will meet that expectation, I'm not sure. But I don't think it'll become too trendy, no.
They were gradually taking over the third ward. More and more were coming in until by 1910, we had close to 3,000 Italians living in Milwaukee, and about 2,772 of them were living in the third ward.
Why was it such a tight community?
Well, because that's all they had was each other. That's why. They, not knowing the language, not knowing the customs, you gotta remember that these people were from a rural area, let's say either from a farm or from a little fishing village. All they knew was their little village. They rarely went outside of the village to go to another village, for example, or another little town. So what happened was when they got here, they suddenly were thrown into an urban setting, which of course was completely foreign to them. They were all of the same language, all of the same customs, all of the same traditions. It would be like if you and me and a group of us went to China and we would have dumped in a city in China. Well, it's obvious we'd stick together. For the immigrant, it was fine. So what happened was that even their institutions, let's say the church, the mutual aid societies, the newspaper, when the immigrant died, they died. In other words, the third ward was an interim period. It was a period where they could, like a way station, they would get adjusted to America, to our customs, and then as they felt secure, they moved out of the third ward. This is what happened.
Blaze, the guy from the restaurant, he just lives a few blocks away. And it was kind of funny because he was saying, whether there's a place for us, I don't know. A year later, he sold out. And so his bar and grill's in there anymore, and now it's a fancy restaurant, nightclub. The following summer, I went, they said, can you do another one? So I went to the third ward, because I really didn't know that much about the third ward, other than some people thought it was the next big thing. Other people said, no, it's not going to be. It's too old, and there's not enough property there to be hip and trendy like Brady Street. So I went out and did something on River West, which some people still think is on the verge of being the next big thing, or maybe not. This was 2004.